How are y'all doing tonight, all you 0 viewers? No, just kidding.
We look so different. My shirt doesn't look the same color on camera as it does in real life, does it?
It's like tinted.
And yours looks...
Yeah, I got a different shade of blue than you. 50 Shades of Blue. But, yeah, welcome back to the horror vlog.
My face.
You probably, what? What's wrong with your face?
You went, welcome, or what? I was like, my face.
Welcome to the horror vlog. Chocolate? Oh, nice. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome back to the horror vlog, guys. It has been forever. Horror Classics fan, where did you come from? I haven't heard. He hasn't been a part of a lot of my videos in quite a while. I haven't heard from him. You been doing all right? Jeez. Welcome, welcome. This is my brother. I was gonna say LD God. Batman Dragon. No, thank you for joining. Cameron Steele. Keep making vids. Well, I hope I do.
Vids or vids?
But yeah, I'm so thrilled to be back here at the horror vlog. It's like the staple of my channel. So I hope you guys have fun. Since you're new to the channel, I hope you enjoy what you see. And if not, you know, no, I'm just kidding. But we have a good question for you today, don't we, Jeremy?
Yeah, 3 of them actually.
My question to you guys: what's with the number 13?
What's up, 13?
What makes the number 13 unlucky? So unlucky. Like hotel rooms. Some hotels don't even have a room 13. It's like some kind of bad omen. Like, did one day just someone pass away in room 13 and then just they're like, oh shit, son.
That or maybe serial killers love the number 13, so they're more likely to kill their victims in the room 13, so they're just like, let's not make a number 13 room.
What do you guys think? 13 is when you are starting to grow. So you think 13 is like the pivotal moment of boyhood?
Where we learn to
manhood?
not just fear what's underneath the bed, but everything we see.
Is Salem's Lot worth reading?
No.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Because that's the age when girls start their period.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of scary.
It's funny. Black 13. But yeah, the whole reason of the episode is due to numbers. Because this is the horror vlog number 13. And that is why I wanted to discuss numbers with you guys. And to answer your question, yes, Salem's Lot is actually worth reading. It's pretty boring, though. It was hard for me to get through it. But it was actually a really good story, so I hope you enjoy it if you do read it.
We will be on here for a little while, games and movies, entertainment, so you can come back 10 minutes, we'll probably still be here.
Okay. I am the real Pennywise.
He has to be read for Stephen King's It.
Yes, I have.
He's more than read it, he's made love to it.
To it. Stephen King. I've even looked at Stephen King's tit. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, what makes the number 13 so unlucky, Jeremy?
I think what makes 13 unlucky, well, I think obviously if you want the philosophical kind of answer, it's because we added the unluckiness to the number 13. We made the 13 an unlucky number.
So you're saying somebody spread this rumor like, hey guys, 13 is just a bad number. Y'all should watch out. It's kind of like if a black cat crosses your path or a mirror breaks. I
mean, we all give, we put meaning behind things, and so we put the meaning behind the 13's unluckiness. But I want to see.
And my copy of pages are stuck together.
We're going to type in 13 and why is it unlucky and see what Google tells us.
Let's ask Alexa. No, do you guys believe that there is such thing as bad luck? Like, if you...
The number 13 is considered an unlucky number in some countries. The end of the Mayan calendar's 13th Bactun was superstitiously feared as a harbinger of the apocalyptic 2012 phenomenon. Fear of the number 13 has a specifically recognized phobia. Triskaidekaphobia, a word coined in 1911, the superstitious sufferers of triskaidekaphobia try to avoid bad luck by keeping away from anything numbered or labeled 13. As a result, companies and manufacturers use another way of numbering or labeling to avoid the number, with hotels and tall buildings being conspicuous examples. It's also considered unlucky to have 13 guests at a table. Friday the 13th has been considered an unlucky day as well.
So if your 12th friend brings a tag along, you just keep him outside.
Oh, here's a good one. There are a number of theories as to why the number 13 became associated with bad luck. For example, the Last Supper. At Jesus Christ's Last Supper, there was 13 people around the table, counting Christ and the 12 apostles. Some believe this is unlucky because one of those 13, Judas Iscariot, was the betrayer of Jesus Christ from the 1890s. A number of English language sources relate to unlucky 13 to an idea that at the Last Supper, Judas, a disciple who betrayed Jesus, was the 13th to sit at the table. So, if you have 13 people at a table, maybe you'll be the one that dies. The Knights Templar. On Friday the 13th of October of 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of the Knights Templar, and most of the knights were tortured and killed.
So they put a curse on that number.
Full moons. A year with 13 full moons instead of 12 posed problems for the monks in charge of the calendars. This was considered a very unfortunate circumstance, especially by the monks who had charge of the calendar of 13 months for that year, and it upset the regular arrangement of church festivals. For the reason 13 came to be considered an unlucky number, however, a typical century has about 37 years that have 13 full moons, compared to 63 years with 12 full moons, and typically every third or fourth year has 13 full moons.
Sorry. No, I do apologize.
A repressed lunar cult. In ancient cultures, the number 13 represented femininity because it corresponded to the number of lunar cycles in a year. The theory is that as the solar calendar triumphed over the lunar, the number 13 became anathema. Whatever that means.
I believe
But yeah, that's some reasons why people believe
that
unlucky.
there is bad luck, but I don't believe it's brought on by something. Like, if I went out and broke a mirror, will I have 7 full years of bad luck? No. But one day out of a whole week, would it end up being a bad day and things just bad happen?
That kind of sounds like a cool story idea. Like, how, in Stephen King's It, every 23 years, it came back and it made all these bad events happen. What if every 13th year, or every, not Friday the 13th, but like a number 13 thing happens, a bad traumatic event happens. That'd be a pretty cool book idea.
But
I'm gonna start writing now.
I'm gonna write this now. You'll have to buy that. No, I'm just kidding. But speaking of number 13, we have a good for you guys. Now normally I do the good, the bad, and the why, and we were going through movie titles that have numbers in them, and there's a lot that was really good. Like, I couldn't find hardly any that were bad that I've seen. So we decided to do 3 good picks for this video. So, our first
27
pick...
years, right? For Stephen King's It, not 23?
27.
Damn. I just read the comments and was like, you know what? I just remembered this one.
Actually, in the actual book, it said 28. A cat?
Yes, we do. We have a black cat, a black and white cat, and a whitish brown cat.
Yes. Piece of shit cat.
Why do you want to know I have a cat?
Do we look like we get a lot of pussy? No, I'm just kidding.
Me.
But, the number... Fuck it.
You got confused.
Yeah. Y'all done lost me.
Wrong movie.
13 Ghosts. No, it's not the wrong movie. We're talking 13.
Why'd you skip so far down? Oh, you put an arrow. Okay.
Yeah. But 13 Ghosts is one of the best movies I have ever watched. This is a 2-parter with House of Wax. If you haven't seen House of Wax, watch it too. But it was good as well. But 13 Ghosts is what we're focusing on today.
So, have you ever watched 13 Ghosts? If you haven't, you will know that the guy who played the guy who played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, the movie, plays in this movie.
Yeah, the actor that plays Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movie played in that movie, and he also played in Scream.
As Stu, the guy who is the second murderer in the movie. If you haven't seen Scream, spoiler alert.
After the reveal.
Yeah, sorry.
But, yes, 13 Ghosts is about these people who inherit this glass house from their family, I'm thinking, because it's been a while since I've seen the movie. And in this house has 13 ghosts trapped in it.
Well, they inherited the house based on, they were told that some uncle or aunt of theirs has left it to them, and the guy doesn't even remember who that uncle or aunt was really, but he was like, okay, well, I'll take the house anyways. And once they get in the house, the guy who basically gave it to him or whatever, showing them around, is there to basically force the dad of the family to become the 13th ghost he needs for this ceremony that's going to bring him immortality. Mm-hmm. And what the guy has done is, before this movie started, he hunted down and caught the 12th ghost in the actual beginning of the movie. And then once you found out there's 12 ghosts, and each of the 12 ghosts represents something. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, one of them is the first son. One of them is the broken heart. Hold on.
The hammer, the juggernaut.
Yeah. The hammer, yeah. And it basically represents, like, certain things itself.
But it is such an incredible movie. It's kind of comical in ways, but it is such a very, very good movie. I would highly recommend you guys to watch 13 Ghosts. It's one of the best.
Oh, okay. The firstborn son, the torso, the bound woman, the withered lover, the torn prince, the angry princess, the pilgrimess, the great child and the dire mother, the hammer, the jackal, the juggernaut, and then the broken heart. Mm-hmm. That's the 13 ghosts. Yeah. And the broken heart is supposed to be the dad that came there because he lost his wife and he just has his kids.
Anybody saying that they've seen it, or...
Let me click it. That's GameStop app. I want to see Jigsaw. Someone deleted their comment.
I agree.
I never watched it, but I will.
Yeah, go out. Here's the front cover, what the front cover looks like right there. But it's just an incredible, incredible story. It really is.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Next up on the question, I have another question for you guys. So, if you guys, are you familiar with a guy named Stephen King? You guys know who that is?
I mean, they just put it in the comments several minutes ago.
You just never know. He wrote a story called 1408, which, if you add all the numbers together, it equals 13. Whoa, mind blown. Yeah, he wrote this little masterpiece right here with John Cusack and Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson. My question to you guys is this. Do a review of The Long Walk. Not to get off topic. I will. Couldn't you guys spend an hour in room 1408? That is the longest anyone has spent in recorded history of the whole hotel. An hour is the longest remaining that somebody lasted in the room. And
now, a question. It's been a while since I've actually read the story for it, and watched the movie. Was it based on a true hotel room, or was it Stephen King's made-up story?
No.
All of it.
No, he stayed the night. He was doing a book signing, and he was staying a night in a hotel, and he happened to look around, and he was thinking, I wonder if anybody died in here. How many people were sick?
I remember he did research on haunted hotels and motels and how they were haunted. Because I know part of the story is the main character is going around proving that these places aren't haunted and which ones actually are. And wasn't
so
that's how he researched. That's how he had researched
the
story.
Well, Stephen King does his research just like that guy.
But I was just curious if it was based
on
it.
But no, he came up with it just by simply thinking that. I didn't get number one, though.
Why don't you have number 1 with this?
Because they didn't have it.
If y'all don't know what this is a story called Batman the White Knight. It's about it's basically the first story where Joker's the good guy and Batman's the bad guy. It's a reverse of what this is. Sorry, I just advertisement. Go pick this up. It's really good.
But no, that's how he came up with it. He just was staying in a hotel. And he's like, I wonder how many people were sick in this bed that I'm supposed to sleep in. I wonder if someone actually died in the bed that I'm sleeping in. kind of stuff like that. And he came along with it. But do you guys think that you would have the mentality? I don't know if you've read the story. I don't know if you've seen this movie right here. But that room completely, it's like Samuel L. Jackson said in the movie. It's just an evil fucking room. Because he asks, he's like, is it a demon? Is it a ghost? And Samuel L. Jackson's like, no. It's just an evil fucking room. So, yeah.
So Cameron Steele said he could spend more than an hour in 1408, but I'd have to spend the rest of my life in a rubber room.
Maybe.
Or dead.
Keep yourself from... Because, see, I think it's...
I don't remember. I don't think he made it out of the room, did he?
Nah. Well, yes, in the movie he did. And the book. Both of them he made it out. But he didn't make it out sanely, though.
Oh, okay.
In the movie, it kind of hinted as the fact that it was like, did he really get out of that room? In the book, it kind of made it clear that he made it out, but it had changed him to basically lose his insanity. So really, he just didn't fully
lose his sanity?
Yeah.
Okay.
He really didn't make it out.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched 14. I remember some parts of it, though.
But, yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
But
I'm not going
the room.
to get in the damn room. Like, you can just suck a dick. Because if there's a haunted room or a haunted place, I'm not
There's actually
staying in
two big differences in the book versus movie, but I'll do a book versus movie on this channel later.
You guys heard it here first.
Yep. But yeah, what do you guys think? Think you had the mentality?
Hey, Jacob and Jeremy. How was Thanksgiving? Oh. It was pretty good, for the most part.
Thanksgiving was pretty good.
I had to work, but that was about it. Have you done the Ouija board challenge? No. And I spent 2 hours today trading shiny Pokemon to one of my friends. Oh, that's always fun.
We did have a Ouija board when we were younger, but I don't remember anything ever happened to it. But yeah, the next good movie, if you haven't figured it out already, 1408. If you have not seen this movie, I would highly recommend to watch it.
Or read it.
John Cusack did a really good job.
Jean Cusack?
Jean Cusack.
It's John Cusack.
John Cusack.
Jean Cusack.
He did a really good job with this movie.
I really like Samuel L. Jackson's part in the movie better, though.
Yeah.
The minute or two that was in there.
It was just
Weren't
such
you
an
literally
incredible-
just in Disney World already?
Such a great
Disneyland games and
Such
movies?
a great movie.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, please go watch it. Please read the story. And for the next question I have for you guys, can numbers actually haunt you? And I can't ask this question without breaking the next movie in, which is the number 23 with Jim Carrey. Have you guys seen that movie? It's just called 23. If you haven't, what it's about is about this guy. He's a relatively normal guy, but happens to stumble upon a book in a bookstore called... Fuck, I don't forgot what it was called.
The number 23.
Was it called The Number 23?
Pretty sure it was called The Number 23.
I know it had like a pseudonym, like a really cool pseudonym to it. It's been years since I've seen the movie, guys, so give me some credit. But what it's about basically is as he's reading this book, he finds that it's so familiar to himself. And the guy in the book is being haunted by this number, the number 23. Everywhere he looks, that number always appears. And so the main character, Jim Carrey, looks around in his own personal life as he's reading it, and he happens to notice the number 23 always following him.
Yeah, the book was called The Number 23, and it was written by a guy named Top Secrets. Which the title, or the author's name,
I thought it was like Finger or
was
something.
Top
in the movie.
Secrets. Top Secrets.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Anyway, I thought it was cool. But
the character refers himself as Fingerling.
Fingerling, that's it.
Yeah.
I thought that was the name of the author that wrote the book. I thought that was a cool name, Fingerling.
Yeah.
But But anyway,
I get slapped every time we're in a
room
movie.
237. I would sleep with the woman in the bathtub in that room. But yeah, can numbers actually haunt you guys? Have you guys experienced seeing a same number multiply occurring within your life? Whether it be the number 18, like, or anything. What about that?
What state do we live in?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not going to get hacked.
I mean, it's not like it really matters. Everyone knows where I live on my channel if you've watched. Because I constantly say I'm in Princeton.
Oh, well, if you want to watch his channel.
Oh, there's Princeton, North Carolina, too. So wait, I just gave away the other option. Damn! This has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but what is your favorite taste? What's your taste in music? Rock, baby. Rock. And metal.
Bluegrass jazz, baby. It's the best.
Damn.
No, just kidding. I like anything, really. Anything from, like, classic rock to heavy metal is what I really like. But I like a little bit of everything. I can... A little bit country.
I listen to everything, basically. Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't think numbers really can haunt you.
I've seen the number 42. Like, the number 42 is one of my favorite race cars. The number 42 is the number of a driver I love in NASCAR, Kyle Larson. And ever since I started liking him, everything has been 42. Like, my debit card has a number 42 on it somewhere. My license plate has a number 42 on it somewhere. Like, everything.
My social security number is...
No, actually it doesn't. But I've seen the number 42 everywhere, like, randomly, ever since I started liking Kyle Larson. But that's just because, and here's the thing, alright, and I will basically spoil the number 423 for those people who haven't watched it, because I'm going to do, and I'm not going to ruin the plot of the story, I'm just going to be philosophical about it. The reason why we would find a number to be, like, everywhere, or think, oh my god, I see this number everywhere, or in the movie, how he becomes obsessed with this number, it's because you were not consciously aware that the number even had an existence until it was pointed out to you. And then once it was pointed out to you, you can't get rid of it. Because we have a conscious of awareness that we have. And like, I'm aware of you right in front of me, and I can be somewhat aware of the things behind you, because I can see blurriness of it. But I'm focused on you, so if there's a spot on the wall barely crawling, I'm not going to notice that spot or crawling unless I take my focus off of you to it. And then that becomes my conscious of awareness. So that number was underneath that conscious of your awareness, and you don't know it's there. And then once you actually point your your actual brain to that number, it gets stuck.
That's also where paranoia can come into play.
Yeah, exactly.
Where once you now realize that it's there.
And see, that's how I kind of feel about ghosts. People who say ghosts don't exist, people who say ghosts do exist. I believe that if ghosts do exist, it's not under our conscious of awareness until it becomes part of your some awareness. People are more aware of things than others are, and some people are just not aware at all. And that's how it basically works. Or you can even use the power of suggestion, and I think that's the biggest thing that the number 23 used, was this book used the power of suggestion to make the reader
to change that guy's life,
realize that these numbers was here. But I'm sure there's like 100 other numbers that do the exact same thing.
But it's actually really cool in this movie of how it ends.
Oh yeah, the movie's freaking amazing.
That number goes even deeper into that guy's story,
past and everything. Yeah.
And it's just
it's a good movie. You have to watch it.
The hidden meaning. I can't say.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
Spoiling it.
If you haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix right now for you to be able to watch it.
Yeah, the movie's just called 23. It has Jim Carrey in it. He's not really funny. He's just like a serious kind of guy, but it's such a good movie. Very good.
Today is Black Friday, the second scariest day of the year. You,
day after Thanksgiving,
in words, are smart as F. Yes, I do have a college degree in psychology and sociology, which is why I know a lot about the conscious awareness. And
yeah, he knows. If anybody knows their shit, it's that guy right there. Yeah. Why do you think I brought him in this episode?
Hey! What's up? I mean, I act smart, but I am smart. Somewhat.
But anyway.
I wouldn't say I'm the smartest person in the
world. Alright, Mr. 4.0. We have well, I have an announcement. I'm hoping that he might be able to join me with this, but I am going to have the very first ever horror vlog awards. I don't think I've ever known anybody in history to have a horror vlog awards show.
Yeah. And so the idea, I think, would be to take the whole genre of horror movies, and not just this year, but like of all time,
since we've never done this before.
But the biggest award that's going to be given is the two biggest awards will probably, I think what I suggested to you was the best horror film of 2017, and then the best horror film of all times award.
Yeah. But I am also going to have what I like to call a Viewer's Choice Award, and that's where you guys come into play. Not in this video, but I will have the video before. I believe it's going to be next month when I do it, like near the end of the year is when I'm going to do this award thing. And I'm going to have in one of my horror vlogs where I say, alright, vote below in the comment section. And I'm going to basically give you guys free roam. It's no limit of how many, movies. But you guys comment below, nominate a movie, and I'm going to tally them all up, and the one that seems to have been shown the most will be the Viewer's Choice Award. That, or I will see which ones occur the most and break it down to like a top 5 pick, and then have you guys vote on just those 5. And that way the majority vote will win the Viewer's Choice. But I will be doing the awards in my own personal opinion for the rest, but the Viewer's Choice will be completely up to you guys. So, yeah, be sure to look out for it now. I wouldn't vote. I wouldn't do the voting for it right now. Because chances are by the time I do the horror vlog where I want you to vote for them, I'll probably end up forgetting everything that's been commented thus far. But, yeah, I will do a horror vlog at the beginning of December, and that's when I'm going to have you guys start your voting.
Also, to answer what you were saying, sure, Julieta, however you say that, I have wrote a book. I have actually wrote a book. I'm not finished publishing it or editing yet, but I have finished writing my first book in a series of books. I love writing a lot. And making movies, well, we've done that too. They will never be seen for the public eye, but we have made movies. They're very bad, very cheesy.
We're not very talented, and I'm not very good at editing, as you can clearly see.
But eventually, I would
videos.
like to publish my book, and maybe someone make a movie of it one day. Yeah. Dead Silence is a good movie. I love it.
It is. And finally, the last thing I have on my list here to talk about is the greatest horror movie moment. Usually I do the good, the bad, and the why it was ever created. But since I can't really find that many good why the heck it was created movies, I was just going to replace it with greatest horror movie moment. Now, my brother actually chose this week's horror movie moment, so I'll leave it up to him.
So, if you don't know anything about me very well, I have a favorite movie, horror movie specifically, that I do watch a lot. I've probably watched it at least 25 to 30 times each for each movie in the series. And to me, it's a movie that if I'm depressed or if I'm feeling down for the day, or even if I just feel like chilling and watching something while I relax, I pick this movie. And it's Scream, the whole Scream series. And you can ask my brother, when I lived here, he would probably just randomly walk in my room at times and he'd be like, "You're watching Scream again?" And I'm not kidding, I'd watch Scream 1 to 4 multiple times in a row.
And I can
just for the
understand
sake
why,
of it.
because that is you're probably never going to find a better scary movie, a better, psychological thriller, better worded, like the actual words that they say was down to a T.
Yeah, and
it's just beautifully done.
The TV series, don't get me wrong, I like the TV series. It's not as good as the movies, and I probably couldn't sit down and rewatch the TV series over and over and over again. I do love the show. I've watched every episode, and I am planning on watching the 3rd season when it airs next year. But Scream has always been the most important horror movie in my entire, when it comes to all horror movies, that's the most important one to me. And the horror movie moment that I chose, which I guess I could have picked a whole bunch of scenes from this movie. I literally could probably just say the whole movie is an amazing horror movie moment. But I guess the most important part of the movie for me was Sidney's first contact with the ghost face, which is basically what starts from that point until the last movie.
What he's meaning is the very first phone call.
Very first phone call to Sidney Prescott. Mm-hmm. Not Drew Barrymore's character in the very beginning. But Sidney Prescott, when she's laying on the bed, on her couch sleeping, waiting for her friend to show up, and her friend calls and says, "Hey, I'm on my way. Sorry, I had to work. Could you want me to pick up some good, movies with the hot guy in it?" She said, "Sure." And then she basically sits there for a second. The phone rings again, and this time she thinks it's her friend, and she says, "Hurry up and just get here already." And instead, it's a dude's voice that sounds a little altered, and he asks her, basically, saying this isn't your friend, and she's just like, "Oh, okay, Randy, whatever." And he starts talking about horror movies and asks her what's her favorite scary movie, and she explains that she doesn't like it. And to me, I love that scene because you really get to see Sidney Prescott as her, and you get to see her first interaction with him on the phone.
And it's also very well done because as a director of a movie and a writer, the moment where she tells him that, they always get some big breast bimbo to play the girl who runs off upstairs or something.
She goes, "Well, I don't like watching scary movies because the women in there are dumb that they run upstairs instead of out the front door when someone's after them." Mm-hmm. And then literally in the same scene, she runs upstairs to get away from him instead of out the door. Yeah, it's just so perfectly written and developed, and it's such a good scene in the movie. And to me,
same thing with the sequels.
It gets better.
Like the second one, they're talking about a sequel of a movie. And then the third one, they're talking about a trilogy of...
Because, in all honesty, it's a horror movie, but it's a parody. It's its own parody. It's the first parody that doesn't have to be funny to make its point get across. It's not like the Scary Movie movies, But it's actually a parody of horror movies and still being a horror movie, because it's not comical. There's funny scenes, yes. But it's not a comedy. It's a parody of what a horror movie is. And that even the TV show takes up that same mantle when it says, haven't you ever watched a TV series, a slasher movie before? Well, this is a TV series, and I just think it's really cool how they did the movies.
But I always ask you guys a bunch of questions. Do you guys have any questions right off the bat for us? Or for me?
Yeah.
Or for him? Or for the cell phone down here? Or for this pillow in the background?
What's your favorite horror icon?
My favorite horror icon has to probably be Freddy, or not Freddy Krueger. Actually, yeah, Freddy Krueger. Because that's the one that I kind of grew up with. I always thought that he was really funny. I'm surprised I didn't say Chucky. I really should have said Chucky. But, Freddy Krueger is just not one that people talk about a lot anymore.
Me?
So I kind of want to throw out Freddy Krueger. The way he does things is so creative, Like, instead of just, slash done... like Chucky, even him with his just random slash stuff is just done. But Freddy Krueger is different. He can alter his body. In one scene, he became that giant worm that was eating the girl. In the other scene, he let his arms grew, all the way, Brought this kid who liked comics into an actual comic book.
Yeah.
Just the way his style is just so creative. That's why I really like him. My
favorite horror icon, I'm going to take this in two different ways. I took this question differently than what you did when you answered. My favorite, I'm going to answer it the way you answered, but I'm going to answer it the way I also took it as well. My favorite horror icon is Michael Myers or Ghostface, because Ghostface, obviously I'm the biggest Scream fan.
Just like the white-faced man.
But I love the Scream's mask, and I love that even though it's not the same person, each time that it's the Ghostface, but each time the person under the mask is still someone after Sidney Prescott. and they're all just taken after each other. And, you know, I think that's super cool. But I also really love Michael Myers as a horror icon because I like the Halloween movies. I think they're unique. It might be just like, you know, Friday the 13th, but Michael Myers is just this really fucked up kid who killed his parents and his whole family and left his little baby sister, gets put in a mental asylum, and then becomes, you know, who he is. But the other way I took that question was an actual real-life person who directed and made these horror movies, because they are horror icons in themselves. Just like if you say, what's a comic book icon, you're going to say Stan Lee. So to me, the greatest horror icon of all times, in my opinion, is going to go to Wes Craven or George A. Romero. Because George A. Romero created the zombie genre and made it what it is. And Wes Craven, he's my favorite director. He made all the Scream movies. He made almost all of the Nightmare on Elm Street. Like maybe 3 of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, right?
Yeah, he made 3.
Because the majority of them were made by somebody else, and he hated them.
Actually, he made 4. He made Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 after the second one he didn't like the second one. So he's like, you know, I'm going to have to fix this shit. So he made 3. Then he made...
Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
He made... number 6, the final chapter, because he's like, you know what, I'm just going to end this right now.
And then he makes Wes Craven's
New Nightmare. Made Wes Craven's New Nightmare,
which was technically saying that all the other Nightmare on Elm Street movies didn't happen and they were all fictional, but it was based off of a real character, which was still a pretty cool concept. And of course, sadly, Wes Craven is dead.
And so is George A. Romero.
And so is George A. Romero. So we
James Wan, watch out!
We literally have lost like 2 of the greatest horror icons.
Yes.
You know. Yep. And sadly, we will not be getting any good movies from them anytime soon, unfortunately.
Who knows? Michael Jackson's still making CDs. They can still make movies.
True. I mean, but we still got some pretty good ones alive now, like James Wan and the creators of the Paranormal Activity series. So there's plenty of icons out there. But I just don't think we're ever going to hear a name and think, oh my god, that director is so good. You know what I mean? Especially in the horror genre.
Okay. Thank you guys for the quick questions. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's a little bit quick, actually. Usually they're about an hour long, but today's only been 37 minutes. So, yeah.
Did pretty good today.
Yep. I know it's weird doing a horror vlog on like a random Friday, but I'm going to start my horror vlogs back every Wednesday again like I used to. Unless my brother wants to be a part of some of them, then I might push it back to Saturdays, because usually Saturdays is when he comes over. So,
yep.
But, yeah, thank you for the long wait.
Yes, you missed it, Manuel.
Thank you for the long wait. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All the new people that came in, thank you so much for joining.
And if you don't know who I am, because
he
never introduced my actual YouTube name, my name is Batman Dragon. No, you just said this is my brother. You didn't say nothing.
I said Batman.
No, you did. But I'm Batman Dragon. Please go check my channel out, even if you don't care about what I do. I love video games and Batman stuff. I currently have content based around video games and some old videos of Batman. Currently haven't made any new videos this week, but we'll see what happens. I'm kind of just trying to figure out what I want to do.
He's going to go home right now. He's, ooh, Jake, video. I'm a big video too.
Probably, honestly. I have some ideas of what I want to do. But
yeah, he's still trying to find out what he wants his channel to be.
Yeah.
This made my hour. Thank you so much for joining us. What was the username again? Cameron Steele. Thank you for joining us. And yes, the other guy that joined in, I can't pronounce his username. But
Chohoilita.
Call of Cthulhu. Thank you so much for joining. Whether or not you enjoyed it, whether or not you dislike the video, it's all perfectly fine. And thank you, Manuel, for coming in at dead last. Because you know what that means? I get an extra view where you have to click the video and watch it again. But yeah, thank you guys for joining.
You guys have a good Black Friday too.
I will see you guys in the next upcoming video.
Hardy boys.
Wait. What the fuck? Oh.
Wait, what the fuck?
Deuce keys.